But he can't help dropping his thinker because he is shit.
Yeah, he's like, I do not have the facility. I didn't think they'd have the balls to get rid of Gerrard, and if they didn't, he would have taken them down. How many times I mentioned like we live before? Every Premier League team now has like one dedicated player that will bulk buy snus online and distribute it to the players in their team. There is a Premier League rapper, allegedly, all alleged, that is
not a rapper.
Welcome back to episode 42 of the BoreDraw podcast. Caught you there. You thought he was going to intro it. Nah, it's me. Yeah, I think we'll dive right in. Oh, my beloved Arsenal bottling the Premier League. Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting weekend of football.
Not for me.
But there was a few results that threw some spanners in the works for a lot of teams.
If you've seen our predictions, I posted it today when we're filming the podcast. I posted it today on our Insta. Check out our Insta. We do like a weekly predictions. So we do it in the podcast, obviously, and then I'll post it on Insta and Twitter, how we do.
You can see how we've done.
We had a shambles, mate. One correct score each, which is decent. But then normally we get like correct results. Barely any correct. It was just red. Like wrong result completely. It was a mess this
weekend.
Look
through the results this week, yeah.
It was a mess.
You had Villa winning, which is, I mean,
beforehand
was probably an upset.
We'll talk about Villa because
now you look back on it thinking.
But yeah, you wouldn't have expected them to win and definitely not win 3-0.
I mean, you probably expected Brighton to either draw or beat Chelsea.
That was my correct score, 2-1 Brighton. So
Everton, who've looked okay under Dyche, against Fulham, who've been sliding a bit. No Mitro, but that was a bit unexpected. Palace probably expected
correct score.
Probably expected them to beat Southampton, maybe.
Wolves to beat Brentford 2-0.
Didn't expect that.
Rogue one.
Spurs to lose in the last minute to Bournemouth.
You love to see it.
Mad.
Yeah.
Man City obviously.
Yeah, easy.
Arsenal to draw against West Ham. United to beat Forest, probably. Liverpool to beat Leeds. Probably not 6-1, but you might have had them on to beat Leeds. But yeah.
It was a weird weekend.
Strange weekend of results. But yeah, let's get right into it. Starting at Sunday's 2:00 showdown at the London Stadium.
I was at the pub, fuming. Well, not fuming at the beginning. Fuming first 10 minutes. We looked like we would murder this team. And I said in the last podcast, I was like, we're going to pepper them. And for the first 10 minutes, I was proved right. We were cutting them apart. Martinelli had the run of Kufal. Gabriel Jesus was cooking. It was good. The first 10 minutes, they just couldn't handle us. Like against Liverpool, we were just different league.
What is that about you? Where you're like your first 20 minutes are incredible, and like obviously, no one expects you to keep that up throughout the entire game. Because I don't think you actually physically could.
Yeah,
but you do tend to come out really fast and catch a lot of teams off guard. You're literally the opposite of Spurs.
Yeah, I don't know what it is because this is like a complete opposite. Well, like not complete. Yeah, it is a complete opposite to the Liverpool game in the sense that, so we bottled the 2-0 lead both times, but the Liverpool game, there was like a moment that you could tell switched the side of the game, Xhaka beefing Trent. Whereas this game, there was nothing in particular that happened that West Ham got an impetus from or we just couldn't handle. We just stopped doing anything after like 20 minutes. And so I don't know what that is.
Jared Bowen had a bit of a game, didn't he?
Yeah, he always seems to turn up against us. I think he's got 4 in 4 against us, which is annoying.
I mean, there was points where he was just gliding past your players. And I've watched him all season and thought, you're not as good as you were last season.
Yeah.
You've lost that edge, but this game he was good.
Well, I've always said this about Arsenal. If you're having a stinker of the season, if you're looking to return to form, come play Arsenal because we'll hand you form back on a plate. There's Trent as well. He's been cooked all season. Come play Arsenal. And now he's the best CDM right back since Joshua Kimmich. Yeah, it's tapped. So, yeah, come play Arsenal if you're looking to gain form. But yeah, I think interestingly you brought up Jared Bowen because I want to get your kind of thoughts on Kieran Tierney. Because I was a big fan, and I still am a big fan to an extent. But I think where I stand now is our project has moved on a lot faster than we've expected. And I think his shelf life is verging on expired.
I think he's never really had a really good run in the Arsenal team.
No.
He's had a lot of injuries and a lot of time on the bench.
Yeah.
They bought in Zinchenko because of that, really. I think when they bought Tierney in, he was going to be the number one starter for a few years, and then he got hit by injuries, never really worked. Bought Zinchenko in. He just brings so much to the team in terms of his leadership and his like ability on the ball as well as off it. That like I don't really understand what Tierney gives you over him. Maybe Tierney's a bit more I'm an obsessive crosser. Like he loves to whip it in the box.
Yeah, but everyone's argument for Tierney is that he's more defensively sound, and I don't even think he's that much more. Maybe like by a smidge, but their like weakest point is defensively. But where Zinchenko is poor defensively, he is probably on the pitch the like one or second or first most important player on the pitch, doing what he's doing, orchestrating the game. Whereas Tierney, yeah, his like defensive like capabilities are a smidge better, but he offers just so much less. And the problem that I've got at the moment is that Arteta is asking him to do the exact same thing Zinchenko does.
Have the IQ
my guy is like nowhere near. His like pace of pass, his like reading of the game is so much worse.
If Zinchenko's your number one, Tierney's a decent backup option.
Yeah.
I don't think you complain about that. I think he'd be a backup option for a lot of teams in the Premier League. I think he'd start for a lot of Premier League teams. 100%. But I don't think he is Champions League level.
No, and
I don't think he's top tier echelon. But you look at Man City though. Kyle Walker.
Apparently Villa are interested in him.
And then they've got like their backup Rico Lewis. Like their wing back situation ain't as like
as rosy. But I think it just comes down.
There's not really many teams in the Premier League with like good wing backs anymore.
Especially like good depth at wing back as well.
Like on
Liverpool,
paper,
if
you looked at the beginning of the season, on paper you would have said Chelsea.
Yeah.
Cucurella before he stunk it up.
He stinks.
Reece James, Chilwell.
I've seen people absolutely coming for Chilwell at the moment, saying he's absolutely washed. So that left-hand side of Chelsea's a mess. But yeah. Back to Tierney, I think it's come as a result of our project moving a lot quicker than maybe Arteta and Tierney expected. And yeah, I think just like at this very top level, unless you're playing a style that is very suited to him, maybe a free at the back and he's one of the wing backs where he doesn't have to get involved in like the play as much.
Well, that's how he plays for Scotland, but he plays as one of the left side centre back, doesn't he? So.
And he kind of like inverts with Robertson and one of them will bomb on or whatever. But I think he's just, for our style of play and where we want to go, I'm not sure he's that guy.
I think as well.
You're not that guy.
If we, obviously, Saka misses the penalty, is what it is. It's not great. It doesn't really...
That comes under one of those where, when I was saying the other week, if you put it wide, that is a bad pen. That was a bad pen.
Oh, what? The Salah one?
Yeah.
Against Arsenal?
Yeah. Like that wasn't even close. Bless him.
I mean, I feel for him.
Yeah,
but
big time.
I think he is a top player, one of the best players in the world, Saka. But I think maybe penalties might be a stretch.
I think just give him to Gabby Jesus.
I think I don't want to be like that guy and be like, oh, he's missed one for England, he's missed it for Arsenal. But sooner or later, it's going to stop playing on his mind.
Yeah, 100%. It's like something he doesn't need as well.
Just get rid of that entire thought process and just go, look, you're going to get goals anyway. You're a class player.
Yeah. If anything, Gabriel Jesus needs the goals.
So yeah, I would look to be.
Yeah, same. And on Saka, I don't think he had a very good game, but he's due one of those every now and then. I want to talk about the guy that I think is. And I don't want to dig him out because he's been a good utility player at Arsenal for many a year. Arsene Wenger was like, just because he didn't cost 50 million doesn't mean he's not going to be one of the best in the world. We're talking about Robert Boulding, or Balding is what we used to call.
Turkish hairlines, baby.
But yeah, he's got a naughty hairline now.
Shame that with the hair didn't come footballing ability. I think he would.
Yeah, he's got Maldini hair, but
he wouldn't start for Southampton. Ability. Nah, he wouldn't start for Southampton.
I don't think he's very good.
I think
he was back in the day, and he had.
Was he really?
No, he was. He was really good. He was fast and he was techie. He was very John Stones-esque, and that's why everybody like bantered about Arsene Wenger saying that he was so John Stones-esque. And then he'd done his ACL, and since then he's just looked leggy. His decision making is slow, and you saw that with like Bellerin, like coming back from an ACL.
It takes a bit out of you.
Takes it a bit out of you. You're slower. You're a little bit more scared to do things, and I think that's just him now. He's just off the boil, and the problem is his like ability to make the passes that Saliba does isn't there. And then we were playing a very aggressive line with Saliba, Ben White, and Gabriel because Saliba's got that pace to get back. Like his one-on-one recovery pace is probably the best in the league for a centre back. And now that we've got Robert Balding, we're playing deeper, and especially at 2-0 up. That's the problem.
It absolutely like inebriates your press, doesn't it? Like it cuts your press off at the source, so it becomes more disjointed. It's not as effective. It's not as vicious. There's not that intensity behind it because
everyone having to drop a little bit deeper to make up for him.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But let's talk about Arsenal though. Obviously, the result is 2-2. They dropped to 2 points. City won, closed the gap to 3 points.
3 points, and we're playing them next week. But we're playing Southampton before that on Friday.
The grand scheme of things, yeah. I think if you offered Arsenal fans after the World Cup this position, I think you might have taken it.
Yeah.
And obviously every game that you don't win is going to feel like a loss at this point because you're top of the table and you've been there for such a long period of the season. It's so easy for you to like turn your back on these on players after the result. I've seen Arsenal fan TV already popping out and it's ridiculous statements. Like, yes, it wasn't the best performance, but how many performances have you had where you've overperformed? You've been overperforming all season. Let's be real, yeah. Your team should not be competing with Man City.
No.
No
team in the league should be competing with Man City.
It is an absolute miracle. Yeah. And it's a miracle that does it a disservice because the players have been exceptional. Mentality monsters. I've seen people coming out saying Arsenal players, they're getting soft again. They're this, they're that. Pack it in. Mate. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, you should not be able to have an opinion if that's what it is.
No, I totally agree. I think what you said is like a very good shout that like if you offered Arsenal fans this position coming out the World Cup, especially with Gabriel Jesus injured, everyone was thinking that's the title charge over. So for us to still be top of the league, yes, the gap is smaller now, but for us to still be top of the league with 6-7 games left is good going.
It's in your hands.
It's still in our hands, and I think. Yeah, what a point that I've seen quite a few people make on Twitter is that, yes, it's points dropped in the last two, but in the grand scheme of things, it changes nothing really because we still need to beat City at the Etihad, and that's always been the case. If they beat us at the Etihad, it's done. So we've always had to go there and beat them, and that's still the case. If we go there and beat them, the title charge is well and truly on. If anything, it'll catch fire, mate, if we beat them at the Etihad.
I mean,
but if we don't, it's sticky.
That is the important thing. It's in your hands. Just to correct myself, you're 4 points ahead. 4 points ahead. I thought it was 3 for some reason, but yeah, you're 4 points, and they've got a game in hand. But if you go to City, and even if you get a draw, I think it's still all to play for. Like,
yeah, I think it's just our fixtures are hard.
City lose silly points sometimes.
Yeah, you just got to hope they get Champions League.
Yeah,
tunnel vision.
That's it. Because I think if you offer City fans the chance of Champions League or Premier League, you know which one they're taking.
Yeah, 100%.
Every day of the week. So it is strange, but I mean, it's not an unlikely scenario that City go on to win both of them.
No, and that'll be the treble. And I've seen Man United fans trying to encourage City to win the league as if they're not your local rivals, and you're encouraging them to complete a feat that Man United are the only team in England to have done. So why would you be encouraging your closest rivals to match your best ever feat?
Man United fans are embarrassing.
And before we end this segment, I want to talk about a Man United fan, a Man United ex-player, who today I got into a interaction with on Twitter. Shout out Rio Ferdinand, top guy. We'll say I beefed him, but I was just raising a valid point. So on his podcast, he stated that if Arsenal bottle the league and finish second, Man United finishing third with a Carabao Cup is a better season. Where do you stand on that? Because I made
the first thing you said about if Arsenal fails to win the league, is it bottling it? I agree. I think it is bottling it. Because I think, yeah, and it is harsh, It is very harsh.
No,
but
yeah, shoot away,
especially when you have a team like Man City in the league, which is almost
shoot
the perfect
away,
team.
my guy.
But if Spurs were in your position,
Yeah,
you would be absolutely screaming it. And it is a bottle because you have thrown it away. If England, I don't know, if there was a point system in England that done it like that, we would say they're bottling it. Like, it just is what it is. It's not embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
I mean, you've got literally like the most vicious, well-oiled team in the world chasing you down at every corner.
Well-oiled is a nice way of putting it, because they do be oiled.
But yeah, I mean, you might have got Fly Emirates though.
Yeah, true that. But no, it's
it's not as oily. But yeah,
probably still is oily.
Is it a better season to win?
But yeah, talk to me.
The Carabao Cup,
because I explicitly said I got absolutely. I was
a trophy,
putting out a fishing rod, and there were so many Man United boys just eating.
I think if you're a football player, if you're a player in this team, I think Anthony is going to be happier than Gabriel Jesus if Arsenal finish second. If Arsenal finish second and Man United finish in the top four, Anthony's going to be the happier player. But
Anthony's a wetty, and Gabriel Jesus is used to winning shit.
Man United, they've won that trophy. They beat every team that they had to beat to win that trophy, which is fair enough, right? The grand scheme of things, it is more impressive for Arsenal to finish second and be that close to Man City than it is for Man United to finish wherever they do and win a trophy, because they can only beat who's they put in front of.
Yeah. So I replied a few people. One was saying the Man United players will be happier. And I was like, yeah, maybe they will be. That wasn't the point of his discussion. His discussion was specifically who's had the better season, which would be Arsenal. If we were discussing who's got happier players, could be Man United. That wasn't discussion. So, yeah, I still think Arsenal. And also, I said in the comments as well, if they'd won the Europa, they can still go on to win the Europa. Or if they won the FA Cup and finished third and Arsenal finished second, 100% Man United better season. Those are big cups. The Carabao Cup, yes, they can only win who they've had put in front of them. But I think if it was the other way around, Man United would use the same argument that the Carabao Cup is. I mean, like an
the Carabao Cup as well, though. A lot of the time you see the top teams putting out second string teams, and it's I mean, you're always going to come down. You might have a team like Grimsby who get a little bit further than they should have, and all power to them. But you know, it is what it is. I
don't know how to do this, but on the YouTube video, I'll do a poll. If Arsenal finish second with no trophies, United third with the Carabao, who's had the better season? Let us know.
Let us know down below. We're back after the break to talk about Unai Emery's Aston Villa. Good evening.
Indeed.
Bosh, we're back again. Let's talk about Aston Villa. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Unai Emery, come on, lad.
Wow, wow, wee, wow. King of the castle.
From what I remember of Emery, the football was very boring, very defensive. But Villa, oh my God, they're electric.
They are. They've got that kind of new manager bounce, but they're like bouncing still and hard. I really like, and we said this when he came in, he will make the front line cook, and he's got Ollie Watkins chefing up Gordon Ramsay style, mate.
Mate, Ollie Watkins is on another level.
Being off Rashford is the most informed player in the world. Ollie Watkins is the most informed player in the world. I'll sit here and I'll say it. And I think he's so good.
Front three of Watkins, Rashford and Saka?
I think it has to be. Harry, mate, you're going to have to take a seat.
Sit down.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you this. I think I just spat on the mic. Who would you take as a backup to Harry Kane? Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins?
It's got to be... Ooh.
It's got to be... Ooh.
Oh, Ivan Toney offers similar to Harry Kane. Similar, same but different. He is more similar to Harry Kane than Ollie Watkins. I think if you're looking for something different, give you a little bit of a different mode of attack, Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins is great. His ability to like run off the line, and that's I think how he was absolutely murdering Newcastle. They've got quite a high press anyway, and in that high press, they kind of do the three defenders and one of the fullbacks will push up, and it's normally Tierney. Kieran Trippier. That's the one. I knew it began with a T. Trippier. and he'll push up a little bit higher than Dan Burn. And so there's always a gap on that right-hand side, left-hand side for Villa. And he was just making runs. Every time Trippier would push forward, he'd make a run off him, lob through ball over, and he was just getting in numerous times. And a couple of times he was offside, or he just put the
He
finish
does get
wide.
caught off a lot, but that's good though. You want
He's
that
just
because
making those runs all the time.
because even if you get caught offside, the defender's now going to be always trying to track your run.
And half the time, VAR will cock it up and he'll get given onside anyway.
But
Yeah, he was crazy.
he said on what was it?
Sky Sports after the game.
He was talking to someone about it, and he was like,
How he
instead of
changed his
running
game.
to the line, he's staying within
Central,
the box.
yeah.
And you can tell he's so much more dangerous, and he always has been dangerous. His finish has not always been quite as good, but he's electric. And
Saturday
that
was
cushioned header down for the
Jacob
assist.
Ramsey goal was nice.
It's like just big brain.
It is, because he got pushed in the back as well, so it could have been a pen. But he didn't even care, because he was like, I'll get pushed in the back, and I'll do the naughtiest little backwards header. And then Jacob Ramsey, who I also thought had quite a good game. Oh, and I was thinking about this while I was watching the game. Brothers versus brothers. Who would you take? Jacob and Aaron Ramsey, or Joe and Chris Willock? All the polls today, me.
That's a hard one.
I was thinking about it while I was watching the game.
Probably the Ramsey brothers.
Yeah, I think so.
Chris Willock is stinking up.
I was going to say Chris Willock is dragging Joe down, because Joe's actually in quite good form at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At their peaks, man.
I'd say at their peaks, Joe's got the highest peak.
I think Chris Willock's better than Joe.
Do you
on his
think?
peak.
Oh,
You look at Chris Willock from the beginning of the season when we were actually a football team.
yeah. Maybe Chris is pulling you down then.
But yeah,
we'll take. Let us know what you think. But yeah, talk to me about Newcastle. So they had a little bit of a blip, and then I think they got like 4 or 5 wins on the bounce. But the last couple of games, I've seen them kind of begin to start getting a little bit exposed.
I think we need to remember, where they're sat in the league, their team is not of that caliber at all. They've got a very good right back. They've got a pretty decent centre back pairing. I like
goalkeeper.
Botman, but I think he can be found out a bit.
Yeah,
Nick
I think he's better than Shah.
Nick Pope is good,
Yeah,
but not the best with his feet.
Dan Burn probably could get levelled up on. I think they'll probably get Tierney.
Probably needs to get a good centre back, a left back in. Sorry,
I think they'll probably get Tierney in the summer.
and then Bruno Guimaraes,
Quality.
good player.
But then around him, Longstaff is okay, but
not
could be upgraded.
Not like top half.
Joe Willock's okay, could be
Not top half of the Premier
upgraded.
League.
Joe Linton's okay, probably could be upgraded.
Joe Linton's all right. I think out of them three, he's my favourite one.
I'd probably say Joe's my favourite one. And then Almiron, I think he's fallen off. I think he had the naughtiest purple patch ever.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's starting at the moment. I think he's Jacob Ramsey on that side.
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony
He's
Gordon's
the biggest waste
melt.
of money.
He's a melt.
I think he's an absolute prick, and I think he's a waste of money.
How can you beef your manager for subbing you, and then the manager has the good grace to put you in the starting lineup for the next game,
And just drop a stinker.
and you drop a stinker?
Yeah, but he can't help dropping a stinker because he is shit.
Yeah, he's like, I do not have the facilities.
Mate, he scored a couple of deflections for Everton and then thought he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Mate, he would get sliced up. He's shit.
Yeah,
Drop him. Put him in the bin.
Yeah.
He's stale bread.
And then you got St. Maximan, who's decent to be fair, and then front two of Callum Wilson and Isak I like.
Isak is a baller. I think Isak's so good. I think St. Maximan.
But I'd still start Callum Wilson, I think.
I would like to find a way of starting them together.
Yeah, maybe you go.
I think their
4-4-2.
front three is better together, but you've also got to try and get St. Maximan in there.
Maybe you put Isak on the wing.
He's technically really good.
Yeah, and he played off the wing for
he would be a brilliant outball.
who did he play for?
Dortmund.
And the team before that in La Liga, was it Betis? I don't know.
Malaga.
I don't know wherever he was, but he has played on the wing, and I think he could do business there.
Isak on the wing. But yeah, it's their squad isn't as good as their position.
Yeah, they just need to.
But they
Eke it out and get Champions League.
They haven't invested heavy yet.
Third or fourth, it doesn't matter. Get that Champions League spot.
If you told me at the beginning of the season Newcastle were going to be in the Champions League positions that come the end of the season after Chelsea spent ridiculous money bought in Graham Potter, after Liverpool have like bought in Darwin Nunez.
After Spurs had a good end to the season.
Good end of the season, bought in a lot of players. And Newcastle are flying high above all of them.
Yeah, no, it's a bloody good story for the Toons. And yeah, even if they drop points here and there, as long as they squeeze out one of those Champions League spots, I think that season is an outrageous. It'll go down in history, getting them back into the Champions League for the first time in like 20 years.
They're a massive club, isn't it?
Yeah, so it'll be huge for them. But yeah, let's quickly touch a bit more on Aston Villa, who on their own
6 points off.
On their own journey for European football. Because when
the league,
they had Gerrard, is Gerrard the one directly before Unai Emery, or was there someone else?
Mate.
No, it was Gerrard, wasn't it?
Yes.
And they were so bad. I actually had them to get relegated because I didn't think they'd have the balls to get rid of Gerrard. And if they didn't, he would have taken them down.
It is mental what a good manager can do. Like,
because yeah, the squad is good.
The squad is good,
and he just came in.
I don't know if it's top 6 good.
Literally no. He came in after the transfer window, so literally done nothing. It's got them playing outstanding football.
It was always a shame that it never worked for him at Arsenal. But you can't deny he's had some sort of impact. Whether it lasts is a different story. Like, you look at Brighton on De Zerbi, I think that will last. I don't see that filtering off.
Unless he gets poached.
I don't know if Villa will continue this into next season, even to the end of this season.
Yeah, the problem with Unai Emery is he's so pragmatic that after a while, he becomes easily found out. And he's not very good at switching up his style. He'll
very much plan A.
He'll just move leagues and move team, and then his style will work again for a bit, and then get found out. Then he'll move leagues. So yeah, I think Villa, if they can get European football though, and then maybe with investment, give him some time, maybe he does get them into like a happy top half. I mean,
even one season in Europa League can be pretty decent, and
he's that guy.
He loves the Europa League. Doesn't
he's that guy.
He loves the Europa League. But yeah, it's a mad season. And it's sort of really thrown me because I don't know who's good and who's bad anymore, because suddenly out of nowhere these teams go on like these amazing runs and they do brilliantly. Like, if you look at the table now, who would have predicted Leicester and West Ham to be battling for relegation?
And Bournemouth out here climbing,
catching scalps, mate.
Climbing.
And then you've got Newcastle and Villa in the top 6. And then in 7th place, you've got Brighton and you've got Chelsea in the bottom half of the table, 6 points off relegation, whatever it is. 8 points.
Yeah.
Mate, if Chelsea got relegated, that would be so good.
It would make me so happy. There'd genuinely be nothing that would make me happier.
Would you rather see Chelsea get relegated or Arsenal win the league?
That's a good question.
No, it's not.
That is a good question. It's Arsenal, but
they're irrelevant, man.
Nah, but like,
let them fight. Mate,
do you know the detriment it does to a club if they get relegated and they're that big?
Nah, it won't even make a difference.
It will. I think everything just spirals.
No, because you get
they've got so many players on like $1 million contracts. Imagine
you get a grace period.
Yeah, but imagine Enzo Fernandez on like
you telling me they're going to go down
in the Championship.
No, they'll go down, yeah, and then they'll literally won't lose a game.
They're bad.
Could you imagine that they bring in Enzo Fernandez and Mudryk and they're like, boys, 8.5-year contract. They've just given Enzo a contract extension.
Exactly. They're stuck there.
And they're like, boys, we're gonna win everything with Graham Potter. Oh, Graham Potter's gone. Oh, you're just playing in the Championship. Enjoy Ipswich away.
That's so funny.
Mate, yeah, it's good times, man. Good times. Let's talk about Liverpool.
Yeah.
Are they good? Are they back?
No. That is my honest opinion.
Leeds conceding 11 goals in 2 games.
Leeds are shit. And I like Leeds, but their defence is so bad. And it got to the stage, like when Liverpool battered United, it's like at 3-4-0. Just shut up. What are you doing? Their Leeds were doing the same thing. They were just pressing so high and just getting found out. The long ball to Salah was right. Salah was cooking, mate. And Cody Gakpo looked good. Jota looked good. Trent at the CDM looked good. But I think, for me, he only works there in games where they're playing
against a
shite team.
Yeah, no. It's if he comes to get some like midfield generals,
he gets ran ragged. If they were to play Man City or if they play Real Madrid with Kroos, Modric, and Valverde, they would ruin Trent's career, mate.
If he comes up against a half decent midfield, he would not be able to do anything against the Arsenal midfield.
His defensive IQ is terrible, and I can't imagine his midfield IQ is that good.
Well, you need the fattest IQ to play midfield.
And
Probably, maybe the biggest.
Yeah. My guy don't have that.
I don't know. I don't know if he. I don't think he's like a low IQ player. I think he generally has. You don't have that much vision and that much like forethought because he plays balls across the pitch, and just knows where players are going to be. Like you practice that, but you also got to have some level of IQ to be able to do that. Like more than the average right back, I would say.
Yeah,
but
I think he likes it when you give him time. I think if you came up against a team that pressed him well and heavily, he'd shit the bed. The
reason Trent was so valuable and is so valuable to Liverpool is because you have a number 10 playing in the right back role, which offers it changes the dynamic and the dimensions of your pitch because you are then playing a game in a different dimension to what any other team could do because they do not have the range of passing available to them in the right back position.
5 dimensions,
mate, probably more.
How many dimensions are we living in? Is it 4?
Yeah, I think so. We're definitely 3D, and then we have like some other dimension, like sound or something. I don't know.
Let us know.
But yeah, he is unbelievable, and I would love to see him thrive, see my boy thrive again. But it seems to be the curse of English at the minute. Dele Alli falling off hard, and it seems like he's trying to take like Trent, Reece James, and
all the boys down. Yeah,
all these men down with him. But yeah, I don't know. Phil Foden's back in training.
Totally off topic, but not entirely off topic because we're talking about English players on the decline. If you haven't watched it, Tifo have done kind of like an expose on a snus addiction that has hit the Premier League.
Not just Premier League.
Well, it's hit like just football in general, but I think it's like prominent now in the Premier League, whereas like it hadn't been. And do you remember like 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many podcasts ago it was.
We're
talking about the guy on the sideline that was doing snus, and we were like baffed about it. We're like, what is going on there? And it's interesting that Tifo have kind of like cottoned onto that, and they have obviously done their own investigation.
It's mad. Tifo have got so much clout,
and they've got so many inside scoops, and I don't know all the details, but from what check it out in the video, they said that like apparently like every Premier League team now has like one dedicated player that will bulk buy snus online and distribute it to the players in their team.
And they're like selling it to like the under 13s and 14s. Which
the
is
academy
mental.
Prospects in that club are all addicted to snus. They're getting sold by the higher players. And apparently, I think the stats could be wrong, but from what I remember, it said 3 England current England internationals are addicted to snus. So many different stats that just blew my mind. So I'm just kind of interested to see how that develops in terms of like an epidemic in football.
I think like the football governing body will eventually shut it down. I know it's on their ones to watch list, almost like like a wonder kid. No, it's on their like substance watch list. Obviously, they've got thousands of substances that are banned. And result in bans if you ever get caught taking them. But things like this, I mean, it's not illegal for a footballer to vape. Obviously, you got like vape inside a stadium, but footballers. I mean, Verratti's like famous for smoking, isn't he?
Yeah, it's so interesting because like there's players that all like we were talking about that Man United guy on the bench. He'll take it before he gets subbed on. I've seen news of players that are like before penalty shootouts do snooze and then go and take their penalty.
I think they said Larson in the game that qualified Sweden for the World Cup against Romania took it before his penalty.
So it's just such an interesting topic because apparently, it's like in Scandinavia, it's been like commonplace for like decades, but it's only like in the last few years hit the UK. It's only
the edgy people who go out and like whip out their tin. You think, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah, so now it's like a UK sporting epidemic.
Mate, I can't wait to go down Power League and see like 15-year-old kids
just doing snooze before their game. It's mad. It's mad. So yeah, if you're an academy prospect that's getting sold snooze by first teamers, let us know who the first teamer is so we can do an expose, please.
And if you know who that football rapper is, let us know as well.
Yes. This is kind of like just news hour for BoreDraw. There is a Premier League rapper, allegedly, all alleged, that has
I'm not a rapper.
that has become a famous rapper in the UK grime scene, but he wears a mask to not reveal his identity at the moment, at least. And so there's rumours spiralling around about who this Premier League player is that has become a rapper.
I've heard solid rumours of Wilfred Zaha. I think
Top 3 are currently Zaha, Eddie Nketiah, and Reece Nelson.
the one that I've heard like pretty solid stuff about though, Courtney Howes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? What have you heard about him?
Just heard things.
Well, I've heard
I've not about that.
my most solid source is Eddie Nketiah.
Because of the way he speaks.
Because Eddie has like previous videos of him like young rapping.
Yeah.
He's like got bars and that. And there's a bar in the rappers thing about having a G-Wagon. Eddie's got a G-Wagon. So, yeah, intrigued to find out who that is.
Mate, I hope it's Will Hughes.
Oh, yeah, I hope it's like the whitest Donny, like Ben Me.
Oh, mate, yeah. Oh, James Milner, bro.
Just someone so funny and, yeah, just like white middle-class man.
Yeah, to be fair,
in the grime scene.
I'm not gonna lie, don't do it for me.
Nah, well, I get diversifying your portfolio, but just stick to football, mate. Unless you're like benched religiously.
Nah, because then
then it's like you just take up a side hobby, mate.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's funny though.
Before we close this segment, can I just shout out my boy Eze?
Yeah, every time he's flourishing,
mate, flourishing on the old man Hodgson.
Did you bring him in your fantasy team?
No, I was gonna.
I've got him in my fantasy. Dropped a 16-pointer.
Yeah, I was gonna get him in, but
yes, please.
Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna get him in for Rashford, but I don't know. I
I
didn't really think. I woke up on Saturday morning about 6 minutes before the deadline
That's
after a fairly heavy night, and then
Tom told me about your fairly heavy night. I won't divulge on.
And then realised fantasy deadline was about to happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I just made sure my captain was who I wanted to be, and then left it. Yeah, fantasy's deaded out for me.
It's okay. I'm trying to. If you're in the BoreDraw League, get excited because it's coming to an end, and we've still got a winner, or whoever takes home the dub gets a prize.
Takes it all.
Ross is coming though. I think I'm 19th place in the league. I'm climbing. So
about 3,000 people.
So if I end up winning in a league made by us, that's an L for everyone else. But yeah, we'll be back after this break for predictions. Back again for our weekly predictions.
Just about to stink up for another week,
Stink
baby.
it up. So we're missing a couple. I think a couple, maybe just one game. 1, 2, 3.
No
4,
Man
5.
City.
Yeah, no Man City.
Oh, no Man United either.
Would they? Oh, so no Brighton. So yeah,
No Chelsea.
We've got 8 games. We'll run through them all. Friday night under the lights. Arsenal in a big game because we're off of back-to-back draws. We're hosting Southampton, who earlier in the season took points off of us. So not as easy as
but Southampton are stinky, mate. You pack it in for the season, go home, enjoy the championship next year.
They're on their local beach already. Arsenal 3-0. I think we come back with a bang.
I'm going to join you. Arsenal 3-0.
Come on. That'd be nice. Fulham, who I said were on the beach, but they dropped a nice little result last week against Leeds, who have shipped 5 and then 6 back-to-back. So is this going to be 7?
No. 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I as bad as Leeds are conceding goals, going forward they're good. They had Liverpool scared a few times. And so I think there's goals. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Ooh, I like that.
Got to be nice.
Sport as well. Mad. Cool. Oh yeah, it's only the other kicker, isn't it? That's how we do it. That do be how it works. Brentford versus Aston Villa. The high flyers of last season versus this year's surprise package, maybe this half of the year. I don't know. Mental. Will Villa continue their astonishing run of form?
Fine form.
I think you'd be stupid to bet against them at this point.
Yeah, and Brentford had a bit of a shocker. We both backed them to beat Wolves, and they dropped a 2-0 stinker. So
because Brentford were recently on a very good run.
Ivan Toney was cooking.
How is he not in jail yet?
Facts. I'm gonna go for I think maybe another draw. I'm gonna go 2-2. I've done back-to-back 2-2s.
Ooh, I'm gonna go 1-0 Aston Villa.
1-0 Aston
1-0
Villa.
Aston Villa.
It's a bit of a stinker. Crystal Palace. Roy's men absolutely flying.
73-0.
Eze with all 73.
Wait, if I do 73-0, do you have to put that as the
Yeah, I'll happily do that.
All right, 73-0.
I'm going to go for a 1-0.
Actually, let me go something like less crazy. 11-0.
11-0 Palace.
11-0 Palace.
Fine. That just looks like I've mistaken it for a 1-0 and accidentally double done one. Leicester hosting Wolves.
Oh, mate. Wolves, how did Wolves beat Brentford? I don't know, but Wolves aren't bad.
They're just so mid-table mediocre.
They've been so boring for so long.
Yeah.
Which they shouldn't be because they've got bare Portuguese man in there. They should have some flair, you know.
They've got that Latina spice.
They do indeed.
Is
But
Portugal classified as Latino?
mate, you're asking the wrong person. Look at me.
Nah, I think that's just exclusively America, isn't it?
Latin America,
Yeah, that's what I
Colombiana,
was thinking, yeah, it's not Portuguese. Portuguese is like, I don't know, Mediterranean.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong
Fuck
people.
knows.
But yeah, Lopetegui versus
Fucking
Dean Smith.
Dean.
I don't know. I don't care. 2-1 Wolves.
Yeah, I think Wolves cook them. I'm going to go 2-1 Wolves as well.
I mean, at least if Leicester get relegated, Maddison will go to a different club.
Yeah, I think Newcastle will have him.
Harvey Barnes.
Because he's like the perfect upgrade on Joe Willock, isn't he? Because they both play that kind of like get into the box or in and around the box kind of number 8/10. And James Maddison's just a big upgrade on him.
I agree. Liverpool, off of 2 decent results, a draw against Arsenal and an absolute battering of Leeds United.
They lost this reverse fixture earlier in the season, didn't they? 1-0. Taiwo Aniyi, I think it was.
Awani.
But I can't see that happening again.
I was excited when Awani first came in, you know.
Forest are well and truly off the boil.
Yeah.
Not that they're ever like on the boil.
I mean, you know you're off the boil when you have to come out and be like, yeah, we're not sacking our manager.
yeah.
Which was funny because the Watford, Watford were like,
Yeah,
they literally just appointed Chris Wilder. And
they
they
were like,
have
we're
to
sticking
come back.
by Chris at least till the end of the season. But
Oh,
yeah, Liverpool,
mental,
I
mate.
reckon they shag them. 4-0.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be more, you know.
I'm going to go for a 2-0.
2-0. Conservative.
Yeah.
But he's not a conservative. That's why I like him.
I'm a QPR
Fuck
fan.
the Tories. Bournemouth versus West Ham.
Gary O'Neill.
Oh, this is a good game, you know, because West Ham, they've been a bit wobbly, picked up good results here and there, and then bad results here and there, but they need to be picking up results against the teams in and around them. And Bournemouth, flying. But I reckon West Ham do it. I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham. Actually, 2-1 West Ham.
Ooh, I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Solanke
yeah.
and Bowen.
That's what I had 2-0, and then I remembered Solanke's on decent form at the moment.
I like Solanke.
Yeah, I think
and
he's
I
a good
think
player.
Gary O'Neill's the 3rd best manager in the league.
Behind...
De Zerbi and Pep Guardiola.
Pep Guardiola.
Nah.
Newcastle Spurs, that's a good game as well.
It is a good game.
2 teams that are battling it out
Both
for Champions League.
will be playing football, yeah.
I think Newcastle currently 4th, Spurs currently 5th. I don't know if a result for Spurs swings it and they get into the Champions League spot, but that's a big game. I reckon Newcastle, after that thumping, to be fair, both of them will be fuming with their last result, but I think Newcastle, as a team, have the cojones to bite back, whereas Spurs, they get embarrassed and then do nothing about it. So I think it's a win for Newcastle, and I think it's a 2-1 win for Newcastle.
The only positive for Spurs, recently is that Son has started. He's got 2 goals in his last 3
Yeah.
or something.
It's
I
all
don't know.
right.
I mean,
But for someone that was top goal scorer last season, the drop-off is catastrophic.
yeah, I don't know. I just think you've got Harry Kane in your team, so you've always got a chance of winning pretty much any game.
You do.
But yeah, they're just poor, aren't they? Like how you ship 3 goals to Bournemouth.
Yeah, well, Arsenal shipped 2, so I don't want to speak too much. But yeah.
Yeah, but you just needed 2 like the first 10 minutes or something.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was rough.
Good goals though. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a Controversial. 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs for you, 2-1 Newcastle for me. And
Mental.
that is all the predictions for game
That's all
week
our
32.
predictions. Yeah. I mean, we're getting towards the end of the season now. How many? We've got 6 more game weeks after this.
Yeah, I was trying to ponder because we're going to do something special for episode 50. And I didn't know if that was going to be a new season episode or an end of this season episode because I didn't know when episode 50 would happen. But I'm leaning towards end of this season.
It's going to be end of the season, isn't it?
Because we'll have like a couple of Champions League weeks and whatever. So I think it'll be... So get excited for episode 50. We're going to do something special. Yeah, but that's another episode done. I hope you're enjoying. We've got Champions League tonight, quarterfinals.
It's going to be
second
very
leg.
exciting. Very exciting.
Juicy.
Times.
Although I think... Actually, no. Tonight's ones are
Mate,
Chelsea...
did you see?
Is it Chelsea and AC Milan?
Real Madrid have dropped a video about Barcelona's
Yes.
allegations. Whoa.
But it was all in Spanish, so it took me a while to kind of digest.
It's gonna get spicy,
mate.
you know?
It's gonna be good.
And like, what's happened about Man City's title revocations?
Yeah, how did that kind of
Mate, that came and went.
fizzle?
Do you know? Like, honestly, the football season does something weird to your head because things happen and they seem like the biggest things in the world for like a week, and then suddenly you forget about it.
Like, you see all the drama at the moment about the Arsenal players not saying hello to that little girl mascot.
It is a bit wanky, but it's not that deep.
Mega
is it?
wanky, but yeah, like you said, it's not that deep. I think in that moment, it's a shitty thing of them to do, but I think what a lot of people are forgetting is like she's part of a day where they'll spend loads of time with her at other points in the day.
Well, mate, also
So-
like, does it really? Like,
But
I
yeah,
know it's
just
massive
say
thing
hello to
her.
her, talk to
Like, I think it's worse if they're like leaving the stadium and they like don't acknowledge that.
They didn't like fucking boot her in the face. Like everybody just calm down.
Mate, yeah, I know it's a bit. I don't know,
But
like,
yeah.
obviously you want them to be a bit more, but it is what it is. They're about to go play a match. They're focused. They're zoned up. But
Football be footballing.
yeah, like the whole Tuchel and Conte thing. That was this season.
Yeah. So much has happened.
What?
Andy Robertson got chinned by Lino.
That was only last week.
Mitro chinned a referee.
Ivan Tony's got 5 million counts of betting allegations.
We should
against him.
do a end of the season roundup.
Yeah.
Or just every
Yeah,
big,
we should.
the top 10 big headlines of the season. Do you know, like,
Big fat quiz of the year. Yeah.
But we'll do that big fat quiz of the season.
Hush the mute the mic. Yeah, well, that's our idea.
I'm watching
fat
all you
quiz of the
podcasts,
season.
man, that still are ideas. Suck your mums.
But remember to subscribe, guys. Yeah.
But subscribe, please.
Como video coming out soon. Been working on it hard.
Yes.
Ajax video coming out after that. Working on it hard as well. But yeah, it's been BoreDraw. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Wish all your teams the best this weekend. Yeah. And yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much for watching. It's been BoreDraw. Like, comment, subscribe, follow all our socials. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. Bosh.
Bye.